Hello everybody, welcome to a new Let's Play where we're going to be playing a game called Ortus Regni, TM. Now this is a game of cards, a medieval game of cards where you play as an Anglo-Saxon lord in England at the time of the Anglo-Saxons, the 800s, and you have to contend against a few other players, so you've got earls. So every player plays as an earl within England, or basically a lesser king. And you've also got a Vikings faction as well. Now what we might do actually is just play a game against the AI to start with, and then we'll see about looking into maybe playing some of the online matches, because those can be quite fun. The AI, not entirely predictable, but they can be quite a fun one to beat. So we've got a basic card assortment here. You've got a whole bunch of cards. I use my Machiavelli set because, well, it's my set. And I think to start with, we'll just play against one AI just to show you how it actually works and how the game can take its turn. So, without further ado, we shall get in. We shall face Offa. Sorry, I've got something in my throat at the moment, and it's not what you're thinking. Ah, oh my. All right. So at the start of a game, each player gets their little cube placed into the bag. Sorry, all of this is happening a little fast. And basically it randomizes who is the first player. So we're the first player because we got the blue picked out. And that means we are, of course, the first player. Now this is the hand that we would draw. You always draw 5 cards at the start of a game. And you do get a chance to mulligan draw it. So it's quite good that you get to do that. So this is a prince card. This is actually not a bad starting hand. I actually quite like this. You've also got the right click to check on what all of the cards do, and I'll try to detail what they do as we go along. I don't want this to be too confusing for you guys. There is a tutorial mission, of course, but well, I figure it's better just to teach you how to play, or how to watch this Let's Play beforehand. So the prince you can install into a 5. Every player gets palace at the start of a game. You've got a palace card out. You've got your deck, which you've pre-picked, or you just choose from one of the basic ones, and then you draw 5 cards at the start. Now I'm not going to redraw this because I actually think this is quite good. The AI will probably customarily, mulligan, because they always do. Well, not always, but you know, most of the time. So what you can do with a lord, right? So there's a whole lot of complication to this game to start with, but it's actually quite simple once you know what to do. So every player has a turn. So you draw your cards, and then at the start you get your turn. You can create tower cards to block attacks, but we'll get to that in a moment. So here's what you can do. You've got a prince card, so you can install him as a lord, and he has +1 attack or +1 defense, which is incredibly useful for for whenever an enemy army comes and they've got 1 attack, we've got 1 defense. And if they're installed inside a fortress and you send them out to an attack and it's just a normal battle that occurs, then they will get to return to the keep. Whereas if I just played him into a battle, let's say he was attacking me now and I played him from my hand into the battle, then he would be discarded because he isn't in any sort of landed situation. So it would be more wasteful to use him just, from the hand rather than to put him into his own little fortress like the palace. Now the palace is not necessarily, like if you lose your palace, you don't necessarily lose, but it does have free defense, and it's a very powerful little fortress to begin with. So yeah, you can build 5. So what you can do is you can use land cards like this. Not like this. This is a castle card. So castle cards allow you to expand and create more lordships to put your prince into, or other cards if you get them. So other lords, vassals, even monks, you can put them into other castles as well, so that they will also be retained. So kind of like retainers, you're building a kingdom here. Whereas a 5 card is something you put down next to the palace or the castle. So a land you can use to create an army pool. So right now our army pool is 0. We couldn't actually use any of our, well, if we had any, soldiers, which will go into their own separate cards. Whereas if I place down this lands card now, then I would get 1 soldier. So I would get 1 soldier to use, and it's picked randomly. There's 2 types of soldier cards. You can get either just your basic sort of, I think it's just called a soldier. You either get a basic soldier card, or you can get a cavalry card, a knight, which has 2 strength. There's also this deception card, which you can use for a range of different things, which I can detail here. You can assassinate a lord, so let's say they had a prince in their fief. We could try to assassinate him. There are, of course, cards that you can use to counter it, like the allies card. So political attacks basically are the attempts to try and, destroy them, using intrigue. So it's a very intriguing game as well as military. I really enjoy this game. You can remove mercenaries. Now, mercenaries are cool because you can set them up to have their own sort of little army outside of your main manpower, so your main pool that you would need using lands. You need lands in order to create your army pool. It is absolutely fundamental. So yeah, it fields armies into combat, recruit army cards, and you can keep pressing this button, which allows you to recruit more armies, more soldiers, which you can do infinitely, but the amount that you can actually funnel onto the battlefield is determined by how many you have in this sort of stockpile. So you can have a huge horde, but you might only be able to play 4 soldiers because you don't have enough of these cards. I think to start with, though, I am going to play my prince card because I always like to make sure I've got at least a bit of defense if he tries to just go for a sort of a Zerg rush from the start. Oh, and we got a church here. Churches will come into it a bit later, I will determine. And yeah, so you can tower up as well. You can create these towers, which we're also going to do. And we'll get to that in a moment. So you can tower up. So I might actually do this now, because he's decided he's going to tower up. It probably means he's got a soldier as well. So he put down a lands card. He's now got 1 soldier into his pool. So you can use any card you want. In fact, you can use any number of cards. I could play all of my hand right now, turn them into tower cards, which are useful for defense. But I'm not actually going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the church, and I will explain what the church can do later. It is good. It's just, at the moment, I don't think it's necessary. And you can do this anytime before you've made your primary move for the turn. Now, this is the attack button. Once you've pressed the attack button and declared an attack, you cannot go back. Basically, you've declared war, and this is going to be all sorted out on a big battlefield, and that's going to be that. Now, I'm going to save my deception card, and I am in fact also going to play a fief card, and there we go. So we've got an infantry, that's what it's called. So there's an infantry, and there's also a knight. The infantry is really, it's your basic common soldier. They get 1 defense, they get 1 attack. It's pretty basic, and if they do go into battle and sufficient damage is done to both sides, then they will die. The knight does get an additional attack, but no additional defense, so they're only really useful if you go on the march of attack. Now, we'll have to determine. I'm not sure what the strategy for this game will be for me so far, but it'll be fun. And this is the Vikings Day, that's right. That will come up later. But every turn that a battle does not occur here, then the Viking counters will start being placed. Every time a battle occurs, the white counter will go here, and it will basically stop the Vikings for 1 more turn, because there's conflict happening in England, and of course they don't want to come. They want to just, they want to raid and pillage when they when there's no fighting, when there's no big armies around. They want to take advantage. But at least that's the way I think about it. But yeah, the Viking deck is quite considerably difficult to deal with, and you do actually need to control. You can take control of the Vikings. But it is luck-based, that part. And we will get to that in time. I got another castle. I don't have any lords to put inside the castle at the moment, so that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, he's got a decent army. I would not want to attack that right now. It would be a rather foolish move. I might actually tower another one of my castles down. And then I'd probably want to just play more fiefs. Though he could have a treachery card to use against me. Not necessarily the treachery card. The card I'm looking for is the intrigue card. And the intrigue card is, it's a pain. It is a massive pain. So I think for the time being, what will I do? He can't really field an army right at this moment. So I think I will actually just recruit a normal soldier. So you can recruit infinitely so. But yeah, you just got to watch out. We got a Cathedral card. Now that's a card I definitely want to get down. Ooh, that's very interesting. This is an opportunity for me now. What I can do is I can remove the mercenary that he's just placed down. So the mercenary card gives you +2 attack, but like I said, they don't count towards your fief situation. So you can use them regardless. Like it's basically additional manpower. But yeah, I think I'm actually keen to try and do this. It'll probably backfire because he might have an allies card, but we'll try it. Nope, we got it. We took him out. We've taken out his mercenary, and he's now probably seething in rage. Oh, we got a vassal card. Now that might be a useful chance for us to get out a castle. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop down a castle. We're going to try and get him in. And then I also want to put down this cathedral card. Cathedral cards are really fantastic. There is a special card during battles where the church can decide who won a battle. And you only get that if you have either the most churches or you possess the cathedral. And if you've got the cathedral and no one else has a church, then only you can bequeath your kingdom or your earldom upon your prince. And that's the other reason why princes are important, because when you run out of your deck, the game ends, because your king has died, he has not given over his kingdom to a prince. So it's very clever. This game can actually go on for quite some time. Ooh, we just got ourselves a it's not called a tourney card. What's it called? It's a what do you call it? A banner, that's right. Now, banners you can actually use to initiate a joust, or opting out of a joust. Jousts are, they're interesting. They're really good when you've got like 4 players or even 3 players. Basically, a joust is it's a competition where you place one of your cards. It could be any of these cards. You place the card into the center, but the better cards are usually either the vassal or the champion. The champion is always the best at fighting in that. You can also use him for battle, but he is primarily good at tilting it in the joust, and he's usually, the best to win it. And you can also use princes as well. And whoever wins the joust gets to take 2 nominated lands, or even a castle, from another player. So if it's 4 players, you'll get, and you win, you get 3 different things from all these players, and they're going to be so annoyed. And you don't even have to initiate the joust. I think in this situation, though, you can also use the banner to bequeath your earldom. That's what you use it for. And you can place it down here as well. If you place it down here, you're bidding for kingship. If you get 2 more of these banners than any other player, then you immediately get the king card. Now, we'll come to that if we get to that. Then, yeah, we'll come to that. I am going to place down my vassal. I'm going to hope that he doesn't have any trickery and intrigue going on. Alright, he's placed down, I believe, a champion inside his castle. It's actually rather interesting to do. We don't have enough forces amassed to attack him at this time. I mean, well, we do, but I don't necessarily want to risk it, because we could lose all. And the best part of this is you want to attack his what are they called? His towers first. So what I'm actually going to do is, I think I'm actually just going to distribute another lands and get a knight. Nice. So that will help us if we want to attack next turn. We've got an intrigue card. If he starts messing with me, I'll start messing with him. I think I'm actually going to use my intrigue card to try and acquire stuff from him. Now this will be a really good move to take his lands. So we are going to place down 1 land here and another land here. That way we've divided these 2 evenly. And he's probably seething in more rage. And now what I could do is start placing down banners. He's already placed down a banner. I don't want him to get the king card. And the Vikings have arrived. So the Vikings are going to determine who gets to take control. Unfortunately, it's our enemy who takes control this turn. So he's going to attack. Now, I can opt out of an attack and just, hope that... if I concede, then these towers are gone. If I attack, there is a chance I could get a special card... that will allow me to defend successfully. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it. Normal battle. Nothing happens. We kill a unit. We lose our towers, and I retain my prince. Sound confusing? It's not. It really isn't, honestly. But he could be going for kingship right now, so it is best that I put down this card. And I don't want to tower up my cathedral, so we are a little bit vulnerable right now. We did get an allies card. If he tries any intrigue, yeah, he's really going for it. He's really going for it here. Alright, he gets the Vikings gain. That's really, really unfortunate that we got that twice in a row. That is actually quite unfortunate. So I'm actually going to have to defend a bit. I don't want to lose both. Alright, so we're only going to lose 1. We did lose our soldier, but we should be fine for now. Man, where's this cold coming from? Alright, So in this situation, I don't think he does have another, and if he does, he'll probably be using his last banner, which means that we could just go to the end of the game. He will get the king card, which unfortunately will be a little bit of a detriment to us. Oh, and we wiped out the Vikings. The Vikings will only attack, so every turn a card will be placed down, but they'll only attack once they get to, I believe it's 3 for 2 players, 4 for 3 players, and 5 for 4 players. So yeah, that is how that situation works. Now I am going to put this card down, which is the Cathedral card. The Cathedral, as I said before, allows you to determine a battle if you get a special card, and it can do a whole bunch of other things, but it will stop him from bequeathing his kingdom or his earldom if the chance comes up. Alright, so he's using a jousting card. He could have just claimed the kingship then, so that's quite funny. I think in this situation, I mean, I don't really want to do the joust because I know he'll win, so we'll just pop down that, and it will just end as just a nothing. We basically just said, no, we're good, man. Now, this is a banquet card. What you can do with the banquet card, you play the banquet card to draw 2 cards from your Earl deck. Now, there are problems with this as well, because remember, once you get to the bottom of your card deck, you've drawn all your card pool, then the game will end. So this can also bring you closer to the end. But yes, it allows you to draw 3 cards in total on your turn, which is really cool. So I am going to play it, because I do actually have another one of these cards in my deck. Oh, and I might even get the Market Town. Placing down the Market Town would be great. I'm going to tower that card up. Oh, that's right. It's the end of our turn. Oh, we got a Monk. And now, what you can do with the Monk is actually really cool. And I think I will try it. He is building up an army, unfortunately, so he will probably go for an attack. The Monk, when you send the Monk to the Vikings, like Athelstan from Vikings, you know, when you send the Monk to the Vikings, instead of counting as 1, because whereas the Vassal, or the Prince, or the Champion, or any of these just ordinary Lord cards would count as only 1, the Monk actually counts as 2. So 2 cubes extra increases the chance that we, like here, will get to control the Vikings, and then we'll be able to start doing some serious damage against our foe. That is the hope, of course. He might just decide to attack. He does have quite a large army now, so this could get dicey. Alright, so we've finally been able to take over the Vikings. This will hopefully at least damage his army. I am going to aim for his towers, because I want to bring those down, and we'll see what happens. Normal battle, looks like those towers are going down. Excellent. And then we can choose to damage some units, but because we have most of the control of the Vikings, we should be okay. Now, he might try and attack next turn, or on his turn anyways. It could be wiser just to, like, pull up a bigger army. What I'm going to do, because I've got 2 marketplaces, they're not very useful, I'll explain the marketplace. So, what you can do with the marketplace is actually better if you have a marketplace near the start of the game. But what you can do is attach the market, to your 5, like a castle or a palace, and it increases the power of your land. So all of your lands, after having a marketplace placed there, next time I get to draw units, I'll get to draw 2 instead of 1. So it's kind of symbolizing that we are, we're increasing our manpower because, of course, now we're trading, we've got a lot more money, and we've got intrigue. I'm going to try and use my intrigue to kill one of his mercenaries. Unfortunately, he's going straight for an attack. He does have a lot of power. And in this case, it isn't looking very good. So we're going to have to just hold out. Alright, not very good, unfortunately. We did kill his army. He killed ours. And yeah, unfortunately, he has also killed our castle. So that was a little bit of a tough battle. But what I was going to say is I could, do that. I'm actually going to get my manpower back online here. And I'm going to keep these cards fine. He shouldn't be able to do a decent next attack. But yeah, he will still go for it because, well, he's got a lot of firepower. I think I'll just send my prince. We do have a backup prince in case this goes awry. Oh, church decides. So we control the church, so we get to determine who the victor is. And it's going to be me. Yes. So we'll get to kill one of his units. Ah, we killed 2 of them. Excellent. And what that means is because we won, we don't take any damage at all. Alright, this should be us. Good. That is wonderful. Maybe we'll be able to actually attack him and destroy him. Alright, I'm going to attack his towers. He's going to send his dude into battle. Normal battle. See, this is the most common card. It's just a normal battle. And yet we'll take out 2 of those guys because they're weaker. And yeah, he had 2 champions. He could have used those champions. See, the AI is not it's not the brightest spark in the chamber. Oh, that sounds a bit dark, actually. I'm going to actually go for his... Oh, yes. Maybe. Can I do it? Free attack. Yeah, because it's only free defense. So there we go. We won. We took his palace. He is still alive, though, even though he's just said, my house is finished. No. That's what you think. Anyways, we're going to draw our next card. And then what I'm going to do with this card is I'll show you how the bequeathment works. Because, yeah, he can't bequeath. And he is now, yeah, extremely nervous about losing. So I'm going to bequeath my earldom upon my prince here. So the prince and the banner goes away, but it reshuffles your entire discard pile. And I'm also going to get a bit more defense up because it does look like we're in a bad situation here because we've only got 2 defensive soldiers. You know, in case the Vikings just happen to go to the enemy, it's very unlikely because the odds are in our favor. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. We've got 4 attack. That's not enough necessarily to take one of these. Oh, no, it is. 2 defense, so each tower counts as 1 defense. And, yeah, we'll see if we can take that out. Now, he did have a defender, but he is going to have to discard that guy, regardless. And, yeah, as usual, we'll just take the damage on those guys. So, yeah, he lost his unit, but he kept his castle. I'm going to install a fief here, because why not? And then we're just going to draw, and then we'll probably just wait him out. He's only got 2 cards left after that. He can't really do anything. It's perfect. My earldom is secure. Ooh, nice little castle there. I mean, he could still mess me up, but obviously he doesn't seem to have anything left. Except for maybe the Vikings. The rough chance that the Vikings could actually, could, in fact, go on his side. Alright, so he's giving up. One of his castles is now gone. I think we just go for an attack. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Do we have enough strength to take him out? I don't think he's actually got any soldiers. So yeah, we'll just go straight past his towers. Like so. Yeah, nothing. Cool. So we get another castle. Our kingdom is almost secure. Oh, and I can actually claim the kingship next turn. So that's his last card drawn. We do have Vikings. Yep, but they're mine. They're mine. Mwahaha. I mean, I could just finish him, but he's finished anyways. Oh, but he does have a card. Ah, but he didn't get any special rewards. He will kill 2 Vikings. We're going to kill these 2 to symbolize that we're now weakening the Vikings because we're about to become the king. I know, I love... it's a bit of role-playing. That's what I like. It's just now we've weakened the Vikings as well, so we can claim sort of a kingship of Wessex or wherever we're meant to be. Right, so he's now finished. We get the king card at this point. There we go. So we just got the king card. And now, Vincere est vivere. We win. Invictus! So that's the game, guys. If you want to see more of this game, I will probably do a few, maybe online matches. Bit more difficult. I have lost a few games, but I've also won a few games at the online. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed the video.